Welcome to Access All Areas, a podcast brought to you by Access Training. We're exploring the people, pathways and partnerships shaping the future of skills and training. So let's get into it with our latest episode, Creative Futures. Launching a new era in marketing apprenticeships. Now, in this episode, we're celebrating a major milestone for Access Training with the launch of two new exciting programmes, including Level 3 Content Creator Apprenticeship, which is due to launch this November, and the Level 4 Marketing Executive Apprenticeship, which is due to launch this October. These programmes are all about building real-world skills from campaign planning and content production through to SEO, analytics and customer insight. So let me introduce you to today's panel. Joining me today is Kate Pipes, our very own marketing coordinator and soon to be on the Level 4 Marketing Apprenticeship herself. Hi, Kate.
Hello, Beth. Hi.
We've also got Jo Robertson. Hi, Jo. Jo is Client Engagement Manager at Blue Milk Agency with over 20 years of industry experience.
Hi, Beth.
Hiya. On my left, we also have Hazel Rockingham, who is marketing trainer and coach at Access Training. Hi, Hazel.
Hello.
Hello. And last but certainly not least, we have the lovely Kerry Burleson, Head of Partnerships at Access Training. Hi, Kerry.
Hi, Beth.
Hi. And myself, I am your host, Beth, but I am also marketing manager at Access Training. So for me, this podcast is very exciting. So let's get started. First and foremost, setting the scene. Why marketing and why now? Kerry, what prompted Access Training to launch these two new marketing apprenticeships, do you think?
I think certainly for Access Training, we've certainly evolved over the last couple of years. We're a very different business to what we were 5 years ago. We've also realised that marketing has evolved massively. It's no longer a case of billboards and flyers that get handed out. It's TikToks and social media campaigns. And we thought, we need to evolve with that and be able to offer some of our employers and also some new employers something different, which is why we thought we would move into the marketing apprenticeships. The other great thing is we had Hazel, who joined us at the beginning of 2025. And with that, Hazel brings a massive wealth of experience within the marketing industry. And we just thought, this is it. This is our opportunity as a training provider to offer something different. Why not do it with marketing experience that Hazel brings to be able to offer this out to everybody?
Great stuff. Certainly the ducks are definitely lined up there. So who would you say these programmes are for?
Well, the great thing about apprenticeships is there really is no age restriction on an apprenticeship. So anybody of any age can do an apprenticeship, and that is a myth that not a lot of people can obviously understand. So anybody can do one. We can offer at Access Training an opportunity to recruit somebody into a role. If you've got a business who is looking for specifically a content creator or a marketing executive, we can advertise a vacancy on that employer's behalf, shortlist and find the right person for that company. Or we can also offer an upskill. So what I mean by upskill is you might have somebody working in that role already but don't have the formal qualifications to do the job that they're doing. And by doing an apprenticeship, it's the perfect opportunity to get those qualifications. So you might already have somebody in that role who you think would be perfect. And again, what we can do is have a chat about how we can fix that and how we can work with you to put somebody on an apprenticeship. It could even be somebody who, what I've thought about is it could be somebody who's potentially done an administration apprenticeship already. They might be doing a little bit of social media within the business. Doing the content creator would be a great fit for that, to go on to that type of role if they can evolve within the role that they're doing and do a little bit more social media. You might have a marketing manager who is in a role and needs support, and somebody can come along and join that. And I suppose for yourself, Beth, that could be a good fit for what we're looking to do already at Access Training, to have somebody in as a marketing executive supporting you within your role.
Yeah, 100%. I think obviously, if you are a marketing manager out there on your lonesome, having an extra pair of hands that you can train up is great. And I think a lot of the time as well, it's sometimes validating what they're already doing on a daily basis and putting the theory behind the practice.
Yes.
Which I think is great. And I guess as well, it could be a crossover of people with a sales or a retail background, couldn't it? If you've done merchandising or something like that in the past.
Absolutely. I mean, could be somebody who has been working within sales and maybe wanting to move into another level and to explore what they've already been doing. education, then we can look at what apprenticeship would be a good fit, and whether that could be content creator or marketing executive. That's what we can help do at Access Training, and explore that.
Now, obviously, I know you don't need to have a degree, but is there anything that you do need?
I think first and foremost, it's the willingness to learn. We're not obviously just going to be able to hand a qualification out. We're looking for someone who's motivated, who wants to gain a qualification. The government have made quite a lot of changes recently on who can come on to an apprenticeship. But at Access Training, we will be looking for you to have a certain level of education. So that would be to have your maths and English grades already, whether that's GCSE grade C or above, or functional skills at level 2. If you have that and you're working within a role where you feel you could develop and to gain some extra skills and experience, then we can absolutely help you with that.
Great stuff. Now, Hazel, from a trainer's perspective, what excites you most about the course content, do you think?
I think the beauty about marketing, and it's one of the reasons why I originally went into the industry back in 1997, was once I'd had a taste of working in a marketing department, it was so varied. And then with the experience that I got commercially with working in different industries, it was what marketing looks like for each company and each industry is so different. And once you have a qualification, and I certainly with the apprenticeship as well, it gives you the ability to be able to apply it whilst you're working within an industry. Whereas way back when I did my qualification, it was there was no commercial experience, it was just theory. So for me, the excitement is, wow, you get to learn all this theory but apply it at the same time. So yeah, I'm super excited about it.
And I guess the course isn't off the shelf in quotation marks, really, is it? Because it can be adapted. There's going to be a wide array of people coming onto these programmes.
Of course it can. I think that's, it's kind of, it's going to be a challenge for me, because depending on who we get coming on the cohort will depend on what their experience is commercially, what industry they're in, what level they're at. But again, that's up to me to be able to adapt it and make it an inclusive learning journey for whoever's on that cohort.
In what way would you say that these programmes are different from kind of traditional marketing qualifications?
It's not just about learning the theory, it's about learning the theory and adapting it to your role or to your industry. And that's where the fact that I've got that commercial experience of probably the last 25, 30 years, where I can actually pinpoint what that individual needs.
And in terms of the courses themselves then, what's kind of the plan in terms of session delivery, things like that?
So it's going to be delivered online, which again makes it more flexible for the individuals. But again, there'll be a cohort where we'll be talking to each other, there'll be breakout rooms, but also there'll be one-to-one learning where if an individual needs more one-to-one support, I can arrange it either within the cohort or outside of the cohort. Again, very much bespoke it to what that person needs for that journey.
Fabulous. Now, Jo, from an agency perspective then, how would you describe what it really means to work in marketing?
Wow, so I think I'll part the agency side at the moment and then I'll come back to it. So as you alluded to at the start, Beth, I have over 20 years experience. Thank you very much. It's in that time there's just been a huge change in the marketing field across, it's advancement in technology. Therefore, if you think of just the digital side of the marketing, it's just absolutely huge in terms of the various platforms, the various digital capabilities. Therefore, that increases customer demand, customer buying behaviour, so on and so forth. And that massively from a marketing point of view, if you think about a marketing plan, campaign plan, communications plan, 5, 10, 15 years ago, very different to what you're looking at now. Comparing that, going back to your agency question, I guess working with a variety of different sectors, whether it be, education, training, whatever that may be, your utilities, etc. They have different customers, a different customer base. They have different challenges. They have different demands, and having that real vast knowledge from an agency point of view, is huge.
And why do you think apprenticeships are an effective route in, and especially now?
Somebody's doing, and Hazel and Kerry have both alluded to it. When you're in work, you've got a role. You might want to broaden your skill set, broaden your knowledge. You might want to bring more benefits to the business that you're working with. You might also want to progress your career in marketing, whether that be progression upwards or progression outwards, bringing more skills, more whatever that may be. That I think being able to do that, learning the skills, learning the course Hazel's alluded to, there's a lot of key areas there that it covers, a really broad and varied areas of marketing. And that can be applied to your existing role or a role that you might want to move into. And it's a fantastic opportunity to be able to have that learning from an apprenticeship point of view while doing your role as well. It's a really, really good opportunity. An opportunity that wasn't there when I was starting out.
No, not me either. And speaking of the apprentice journey, so Kate, obviously you've completed apprenticeships before, but what made you want to take on a marketing one specifically?
Yeah, I mean, I've sort of Kerry touched on that earlier about come from a business and administration background. So myself, when I started Access Training, was in business administration and recruitment, and my role sort of had a small amount of marketing in there. So I did a lot of the social media, which then developed into content creation, which led us to do the level 3 digital marketing apprenticeship. But I mean, I'm saying did the level 3 apprenticeship first, but I've done other apprenticeships before, so it wasn't that I felt as though I was going down over, because I've done a level 4 business and the level 5 leadership management, but because my skill set now needs to be in the marketing area, I felt that was the right thing for me to be able to do. So doing the level 3 previously, now going on to the level 4, as my job role is evolving massively, especially over the last year, going into different areas of marketing really, and for me to just get a better understanding of marketing itself as a whole.
Yeah, so it feels like a natural step to support your growth then, really, doesn't it? And how do you see this helping with your kind of long-term development?
Yeah, I think that hopefully it'll be able to sort of cement maybe my knowledge a bit more, learn different theories behind what I'm doing every day as well. So probably just on a confidence level, it'll be able to help me sort of cement really what are my knowledge and things like that. Mm-hmm. So, and be able to make sort of more decisions on my own, thinking forward thinking, stuff like that as well.
Mm-hmm. I think for me, definitely building confidence, because you are absolutely smashing it at what you do, so if we can get that in there, champion. Now Hazel, how do you support learners who are coming from those different experience levels, like Kate for example, or versus someone that's completely new to marketing?
Well, again, it's about, I suppose for me, it's about my skill set as a trainer, as a coach, and with the marketing knowledge as well. It's about assessing what those individuals have already, what it is they're doing in the workplace. Obviously, we've got a suite of and criteria of KSBs that we've got to meet. So it's about understanding where they're at, assessing that, and then understanding what it is they need from me. And that's again why the apprenticeship's so it's diverse, but again it's adaptable, to that individual. So for example, I can't wait for Kate to start because I have an understanding already of what it is she's doing, the organisation, who is that consumer journey, and I can really help her connect the dots with the theory that she might have already versus what she might need versus the application. And that's the beauty of it. But I suppose for you as well, being a marketing manager of the organisation, Access Training, how do you see it kind of being able to help Kate?
Well, I think for me it's about kind of, as Kate's kind of touched on, validating that she knows what she's doing and why she's doing it. But I think the big thing for me, more importantly, is that step in confidence, and then as a result introducing Kate to more things, wider things, getting her involved in other projects, which obviously is a massive helping hand for me, but obviously for Kate it opens a lot of doors as well, and she deserves areas, it.
And it's that self-belief sometimes that I think we lack, that doing this qualification will help any individuals with it, and especially Kate, if it's having the confidence to try something new. And I think once you're on this journey, that almost gives you validation of, okay, I'm on this journey, I'm going to try it. It kind of gives you the extra string you need to your bow to push yourself over that threshold.
Jo, what skills and kind of qualities would you say are most in demand from marketing hires today?
It's vast. It is a tricky one. I think, just even looking at from an agency point of view as against in-house, it's why I was explaining before, is so varied. You've got your creatives in there, you've got your digital, you've got your web developers, your art workers within that remit there's huge more. It's so segmented to reach the segmented need of audiences and businesses and the challenges that we face, etc., to make it a success. But I think in all honesty, speaking from where I currently am in an agency as client engagement director and the strategy team and the key senior account managers, there's a real people skill in there as well. And I think that the ability to, be confident, Hazel, again, you alluded to it before, and you take ownership and you know what you're talking about and you've got that really broad knowledge of marketing to be able to have those confident conversations, to bring solutions, then I think, that is a massive skill set. And then what you learn from the apprenticeship point of view, you can then apply that in that role. So to pinpoint one, Beth, it's hard to do. I think they all come together as a team, because as a team you need these different key areas within marketing to bring some fantastic results, and that's what the apprenticeship does.
And I think, speaking from an in-house perspective as well, those communication skills that you touched on are absolutely paramount, because obviously you guys are dealing with different clients, different businesses. But in an in-house team, it's similar as well, because you're dealing with different sort of individuals or teams across different organisations. You might be dealing with external stakeholders, or, for us, for example, dealing with agencies like yourselves.
Absolutely.
And I think having that level of communication, it's definitely a good thing.
Yeah.
But here's a good one for you. Why is it important for today's marketers to be creative and data driven? Now, are you a stats person or are you not a stats person?
This is a very good question. You generally find there is one strength. You generally do not get, and I'm putting myself out there for potential criticism, but you are generally strong in data, or you're generally strong and creative. But again, from an agency point of view, and sorry I keep banging on about the agency hat, but it is, you have to have an ability to talk creative, to think outside the box while being very focused on and the reason why and the objective why, which is very much driven by data. The why are we doing it? The why do we have to reach that audience? Why are we doing this campaign? And it is very much, they come hand in hand. So there might be a strength in one area, but there's a general knowledge from the other side as well. So if you're strong in data, you've got a reason to think about, well, actually from a creative point of view as well. So yeah, very, very much hand in hand.
Yeah, definitely. Now, Hazel, going back to the apprenticeships then, what practical tools will learners come away with, and how would you make sure that they're confident in using those?
So practicalities is, learning the theory. There's lots of different topics and modules that we're going to be covering, your project management, your consumer journeys. But from the practical point of view, I think we had a conversation in the office just before we came out to do today's podcast about, the softer skills. And it's interesting that you just spoke about the ability to be able to effectively communicate. It might not sound like a practicality, but for me, it all starts with self-awareness. And this is the golden thread throughout the qualifications that I will be teaching in every module. It's about how to understand yourself so you can effectively communicate with every stakeholder that you will come across in your marketing journey. And that will be, your own employees, anybody that you'll be outsourcing work to. So again, it's tenfold, but that will, so the communication, so if you are outsourcing work, or if you're trying to find data, if you're presenting from an agency perspective to pitch for jobs, it will be to effectively communicate. You're going to know your theory, you're going to be able to project manage, and then it will all be able to seamlessly align.
So will there be any sort of hands-on experience in terms of, campaigns or preparing pitches and things like that?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
There will be, I don't like to call it homework, but there will be set tasks after every module that will align with that module. So it will be the likes of putting together some mood boards for content creator. It'll be campaign planning. It'll be how to successfully bid for jobs. So there'll be live projects, bit of presenting as well. I think it's important. not many people like to stand up and present, or they don't feel comfortable doing it, but we will be doing it intrinsically throughout the journey of both qualifications to get you comfortable. Even if you're not doing it currently in your actual role you're in now, there will come a time when you will have to go out and either bid for work, pitch for work, or present to a client, or present to your managing director or CEO about an idea that you want to do creatively for the business, just to get you comfortable and confident doing that.
I think just to add to what Hazel's just said there as well, and what we are great at Access Training is added value. So a lot of the things that Hazel's just alluded to there that she will be covering isn't actually part of the qualification, but it's what we will cover as part of our training, and what Hazel will be given as an added value to the learners who we're working with to make them even better in the jobs that they're doing. The other thing that we are looking at doing is introducing Power BI. Again, it isn't part of the actual qualification for content creator or marketing executive, but it's something that we've realised as a training provider that will benefit learners who are out there.
Absolutely, because Joe mentioned earlier about the world of marketing. Now we have to prove that what we're doing. Marketing was always a nice to have many years ago, and now it's an essential function within any business that wants to drive their business forward with success. So if we're going to start looking at supporting marketing with the statistics, with the data, we're going to arm those apprenticeships with the skills to do it, and to do it well.
It's back to that data and creator, isn't it? It's the data that drives what does the creative look like. And
absolutely.
It's
Well, think about anything in life that we do. We go out and we search for the data first before we purchase it, don't we? We wouldn't ever, it's kind of, you wouldn't ever purchase anything without doing the research first.
You go looking for reviews, you try and find other people that have purchased it, don't you? So, 100%. And I think it is trying to make sure that you're not kind of running campaigns or activities a big cart before horse, really, isn't it? So it is important. But Kate, is there a specific topic or skill area that you're wanting to develop into?
I think because I have come from the more creative side, I'm looking to sort of strengthen in the data area and sort of think like why is that worked, why it hasn't worked, or sort of leading on campaigns from start to finish, and then thinking future planning, and hopefully leading the business to success that way. But also more recently been moving into things doing PR stories, even sort of award entries, which is a completely new thing to me, but it's all sort of new development and things that hopefully I'll be able to grow stronger and feel more confident doing. So.
Oh, definitely. And how do you think it'll help you in your current role?
I think I keep going back to the confidence thing, and I've spoke about that quite a bit, but I think just widening my knowledge really. So I'll just hoping that obviously I'll be able to just go into different areas and not just the one area of the creative side. So
definitely. And from an agency's perspective, once again, how can structured training like this help someone progress faster in a marketing career within sort of agency world then?
Massively. Hazel's alluded to everything that'll be covered in there. Things like being confident, being able to present, having the confidence in the theory side of it, and you've got the whole array there that you need to be able to do that from an agency point of view. It's not just you specifically working on data, for example. You are also being exposed and trained to present, to pull a creative presentation together, to also pull a campaign plan together, etc., and to have that opportunity to be able to do that from an agency point of view, that's huge. That is a real high need, and also from an in-house point of view. So it's a great opportunity.
Now, Kerry, there's sometimes confusion around kind of apprenticeship funding, big scary topic, especially for employers. But what should they know about the apprenticeship levy and any other options that are out there?
Right, so for the apprenticeship levy, keeping it quite simple, if your organisation is a large organisation with a wage bill of over £3 million, you will already pay into an apprenticeship levy. So essentially 0.5% over anything in a payroll over the 3 million goes into an apprenticeship levy. So minimum of £150,000 a year essentially will be sitting in an apprenticeship levy. That can only be spent on apprenticeship upskilling at the moment. So essentially you've got a pot there already that could be paying for apprentices, whether that's upskilling existing members of staff or bringing in new members of staff through recruitment. If you work for a smaller business, then if you want to recruit somebody or upskill somebody who is under the age of 21, there would be no cost at all. So the cost of the training to put that person through one of our apprenticeships that we're offering would be fully funded. There'd be no cost to you as a business at all. If that person is over 21-year-old, then there would be a 5% co-investment requirement. So, for example, the Marketing Executive Apprenticeship has a maximum funding ban of £6,000. So as an employer, you would only have to be paying £300 to put your member of staff through a programme with us and to get a qualification at a level 4 in Marketing Executive. To me, there's no better time to be upskilling or recruiting a person to come onto an apprenticeship. We're here within the business development team to talk to any member of any organisation about how that works. We're also working on a really exciting scheme of work for both of the programmes. And what we do at Access Training is break down each area, each session that Hazel will be delivering. We break that down as to exactly what's going to be covered, which I think is really important for an employer to understand the journey on what that employer apprentice is on all the way through the programme. So again, if you'd like a chat about how that programme would work, then certainly give us a shout and we can arrange to have a cuppa or a Teams call and talk about how we can help you.
Now, what kind of support does Access Training offer to learners and employers alike? I know you meant sort of recruitment services and things like that.
Yeah, so we offer a free recruitment service. So we can advertise a vacancy on your behalf. We can shortlist candidates, and we also have trainers who are within occupational area. So Hazel will be doing interviews for any learners who come on board who are looking to do the marketing executive or the content creator. So she knows what's going to fit within that industry. She's got an idea. She knows how your business already works and operates. She won't have the final say, but she'll be deciding who would be suitable to come onto the programme. So we would do all of that for you, which again is a massive headache that we're taking away from an organisation, completely free. And then we'll be sending 3 or 4 people for consideration for you as an employer to decide who you would like to take on. There are also incentives available at the moment. So there's a £1,000 grant available if you want to recruit somebody under the age of 19. And that's payable in two instalments. We also arrange regular reviews, so that would be between Hazel, the apprentice, and the mentor, the line manager of the apprentice, and that typically happens every 10 to 12 weeks, and that's keeping you updated at everything that's going on with the apprentice, the journey, how they're progressing. If there are any struggles, we try and sort that out before the review, and Hazel is there at pretty much all times if there's any support, which she's already alluded to. If there's anything that we need, any pastoral care outside of those sessions, then as a training provider, that's one thing that we are really strong at being able to go the extra mile and be able to provide a fantastic service to both apprentices and employers.
If a learner or an employer is listening to this now and think, oh God, yeah, I want to find out more, what do they need to do?
So if any of you would like to have a chat about how Access Training can help, then there should be some details shared on the screen at the moment, and that'll get in touch with either myself or another member from the business development team, and we can get something organised very quickly. Right,
final word, guys. Woo. So, if you had to sum up the value of these new apprenticeships in one sentence, what would you say? Kerry, I'm coming to you first.
I would say it's really exciting. I'm very excited about this apprenticeship, and I think there's going to be quite a lot of demand out within the region for it, and Access Training are going to be able to offer a fantastic service if you want us to help your apprentice upskill or recruit.
Hazel?
Well, I would say it's because it's me, wouldn't I? I'm the trainer. No, I think the angle I'm approaching it is that I've got so much varied commercial experience, plus the training, plus the coaching. I will individualise this journey and support it best I can. So I think for me, thinking about what I needed at the start of my marketing journey back in 1997, I think it would have been great. So I think, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Okay.
Yeah. I would say just come from like the learner perspective, it's like a great opportunity for you to do an apprenticeship learning while you're on the job. So I know some people might think sort of doing a marketing qualification, you might have to do things out of work, like obviously going to college and things like that. I think being an advocate for like apprenticeships and completed apprenticeships since every qualification I've done since I've left school, basically, it's just, I find it a great way to learn. Obviously the support system that's there as well, from Access Training, but I just think an apprenticeship is a great opportunity at whatever age that you are. Obviously I'll not disclose my age, but it's sort of, it's not just for young people, so it's a great opportunity to widen your skill set at any age and go into like sort of develop your career, really.
Amazing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And last but not least,
Yeah, I think the content of the apprenticeship is something that is very fresh. I think the fact that you can learn the academic, the skills, but you're also, you know, Hazel, you are going to take people through the people skill, which we spoke about before earlier on in our conversations, and being able to be exposed and be taught and have other people on the cohort as well and talk to, while bringing that skill set back to yourself, back to your business. It's just an opportunity that if anybody is listening and they want to know more, as Kerry said, ring the business development team. If you want to get booked on, do it, because this is an opportunity that really can't be missed.
Right, well, thank you guys for joining me, and thank you all for your input, and thank you for listening. If you're interested in building a career in marketing or growing your organisation's digital capability, check out the new apprenticeships. Like I mentioned earlier, they will be launching this autumn, so keep an eye out for those. For more insights and opportunities, head to accesstraining.org. Stay creative, stay curious, stay tuned. We'll see you in the next one.
Well done.